Welcome to lecture 12. In this lecture, we will have a review on linear differential equation. Okay, linear differential equations. Why it is? Because still now what we have seen that if the circuit which will be static or dynamic, the representation, the mathematical representation which we will be getting, that will be in terms of integral and differential equation. Okay, and also we learn that it is very difficult to solve integral and differential equations, but we know in mathematics that how to solve the linear differential equation. So what can be done in that case? We can convert the integral form into differential form by taking the derivatives till all the integral terms will be removed. Okay, now once I have the differential equation, I should know how can we solve. You already know it very well, but in this just have an overview on how to solve the linear differential equation, so that what will happen in the network, if I'll be able to get the differential equation, I'll able to quickly solve it. Okay, so in this we will see how it will be. So suppose the differential equation I'll write as say a n d n x of t dt raised to n plus a n minus 1 dn minus 1 x of t dt raised to n minus 1, like this. What will be say a1 dx of t by dt plus a0 x of t, which will be equal to some forcing function like f of t. Some function is equal to f of t, right? So in this, let me conclude this, let me point out some 3-4 points. First is that the order of this equation or order of this differential equation is n. Okay, fine. So this is the first point, we know it, and we know the how to find out the order. It is the highest power of the differential equation of this. Now again, if I would like to write in the circuit representation, what will be my x of t? Maybe your current I of t, or maybe your voltage, which I would like to find out. I of t through any branch, or v of t across any branch. And what will be on to the right hand side? That will be my excitation or input or a driver which is to be given to drive the network. Okay, so first we have obtained, okay, what is the order of this equation, that we have found out. Okay, it is n. Then next point, we'll see the next point from this equation, that the term this f of t on the right hand side is called the forcing function. Forcing function, which is f of t, or in other word it is called as the driver. And mind you, this is the independent on x of t. Okay, this is not depending on x of t, this is independent of x of t. Okay, so forcing function or driver in general mathematical term. In circuit representation, what will I say? That will be your voltage source, input voltage source, or in current source, I will say source excitation or excitation, which will be given to network. Okay, then third point I would like to mention here is that when your forcing function or f of t is identically 0, then that kind of equation is called as homogeneous equation. Okay, that equation is called as homogeneous equation. This is in pure mathematical term, and in terms of systems or in terms of circuit, if I'll call, this will homogeneous equation will be where I don't need any input. So that is called as your autonomous network or autonomous circuit or system, where I don't need the excitation. Else that equation is called as non-homogeneous equation. Non-homogeneous equation. Okay. Fourth point I would like to mention is that this is called the ordinary differential equation. Why it is? Because it consists of only one independent variable. Okay, one independent variable, and which is in this case is t. Okay, so in circuits also or networks, whatever the equations we have written, all again all it consists of only one independent variable, right, which is t, or which, because voltage and currents all are the time varying sources or time varying variables, right? So that's why we would like to know how can we solve the that ordinary linear differential equation. So there is no question of partial differentiation. The fifth point I would like to mention is that the coefficients, which are your a n minus 1 till a1 or a0, all these are constants. Okay, so in terms of circuits, what may be your a and a0, all it may be the combinations of resistors, inductors and capacitor value, which are also constant. That's why if these constants are, if these coefficients are constant, which will not be varying with respect to time, then that kind of system or that kind of circuit is called as time invariant. Okay, so this will be time invariant system. Okay, then sixth point, understood. So this is what a and in networks also the combinations of the values of R, L, C will be the constant. That's why I can directly say that this are your time invariant system. Sixth point I would like to mention is that the equation has to be linear. That we know it already here. That is, this equation is linear, and the equation has to be linear. It means equation is linear. Okay, it means what? It means it can, the term on it will be linear only the terms of the first degree. If it is linear only the terms of first degree in x of t and all its derivatives. So in this we are observing the x of t, the degree is the degree of x of t is first order, right? And non-linear when will I call? When it will consist of that x square of t, okay, or x of t into x dash of t. If you will find something like this, then that will be a nonlinear equation. Okay, fine. So with this point, let us move onwards. So next, what I would like to tell you that how can we, first let us see how can we solve the ordinary linear differential equation where there is no forcing function, means where we will see the solution of homogeneous equation. Okay, homogeneous equation. Fine. So let us write the general equation. Suppose I'll start with some example. So this is, say, my dx by dt, and say it is 5 into x of t, and it is 0, right? So what is the solution? It is assumed that the solution of this is, let's say, k into e raised to 5t. Okay, so suppose this is my solution. So this x of t, if I'll put it here, so it will be what? d dt of k e raised to 5t minus 5 into k e raised to 5t. So derivative of this will be 5 into k e raised to 5t minus 5k e raised to 5t, which is 0. So we can say that this form is having the solution of the differential equation, like first order differential equation, right? Or other way, we know that suppose I have the solution dx by dt plus say a1 x of t, which is equal to, for example, 0. So how can we do that? We will multiply with the standard form, that is e raised to a1t, okay, d dt of x of t plus a1 e raised to a1t x of t, which was 0, and this is what? This is the differentiation of e raised to a1t into x of t. Yes, and I want to remove it out, so let me take it the integral from 0 to, let's say, t, which is e raised to a1t x of t, which is, say, 0. Now let me solve it. So it will be e raised to, here I will write, where here suppose, from this it will be e raised to a1t x of t, and which will be 0 to infinity, it will vary, and this is was equal to 0. So if I'll put, sorry, not infinity, it will be t. So e raised to a1t x of t evaluate minus x of 0, which was 0. So your solution x of t will be e raised to minus a1t into x of 0, or you can write some constant x of 0 into e raised to minus a1t. And this is in order to, so what we can observe, this is my differential equation, and in order to solve the differential equation I must have to know this term, that is called as your initial condition. Okay, and this is the reason we have, in the last class we have seen how can we find out the initial and final conditions by physical inspection, so which will be required for me during the solution of the circuit. Okay, so with this, let us take a generalized way. How can we solve the equation with some example? So suppose I have, let me write the general equation. So this, how can we form? Let's say the general solution will be k into e raised to pt form. Okay, so suppose I have the nth order ordinary differential equation, and let me write that dn x of t upon dt raised to 1 plus a1 x of, sorry, it will be d dt of x of t plus a0 x of t, and there is no forcing function, means it will be 0. Now put this solution k e raised to, put this term in this form in this differential equation. So what I can write as a n dn dt raised to n, and what is x of t? K e raised to pt. Likewise I will write a1 d dt of k e raised to pt plus a0 k e raised to pt, that is 0. Okay, and if I'll differentiate it so many times, so what I can take it common, k e raised to pt, and what will be inside it? A n p raised to n plus a n minus 1 p raised to n minus 1, like this, a1 p1 plus a0, sorry, not p1, it is simply p raised to 1, and which is equal to 0, right? Now from that, what again I can conclude is that either this term will be 0 or this term will be 0. So for this term to have 0, what it will be? It will be non-zero except when p is equal to minus infinity. So I will not take that p is equal to minus infinity. So what is the use? So instead of that, I will look this polynomial. Okay, so this polynomial in terms of p, so I will write this polynomial h of p. This basically the chapter I am referring from FFQ. Okay, so h of p will be a n p raised to n. So I am using the same notations which has been given in Q. N minus 1 plus a1p plus a0, which is equal to 0, and this equation is called as the characteristic equation, or it is also named as auxiliary equation. So this characteristic equation plays a important role. With this characteristic equation, what I'll get the characteristic values from the network, which will be very important, that will decide the roots and how the roots are varying, or how that value of root will indicate the behavior. That's why it gives me the characteristic of the network that depends on the roots. Okay, so with this characteristic equation, what I will do, I can write the solution. So for this, what will be, no, again, what can I write again? Yeah, this characteristic or this polynomial h of p, I can write as the say I have p n roots. So suppose one is p minus p0 is one root, p minus p1 is second root, p minus p2 is third root, like this. Let me have pn roots, or pn minus 1 root, whatever it is. Okay, so now I have the roots p0, p1, p2, p3. So what will be my total solution? X of t, it will be the sum of all the exponent forms. So it will be k0 e raised to p0t plus k1 e raised to p1t plus k2 e raised to p2t like this. If there will be n minus 1, let's say, so kn minus 1 e raised to pn minus 1 t, that way. Okay, now what is important, this will be the general, but the solution will be unique only when I am able to find out this constants. Okay, so the constants k0, k1 to kn minus 1 or k1 can indicate the uniqueness of the solution. Okay, now the question is how to find out the k0, k1, k2. So in order to find out, I should need some information. So what kind of extra additional information I want? I need an additional information to compute the n coefficients. Okay, and what it will be? It will be your initial condition, that is x of 0 plus x dash of 0 plus, that is the first derivative of x, which will be evaluated at 0. This will be your second derivative, third derivative, like this. Okay, and let us come to again circuit solution. So in circuit solution, what will be initial condition? That will be in terms of I of 0 negative or V of 0 negative. Okay, fine. So that is the reason. Now we have seen first that how can we find out the initial or final conditions by physical inspection, right? So this initial and final conditions we can find out, and once I know the initial conditions, I can directly write, I can solve the circuit or I can solve the network. Okay, also if in the problem it is asked that in I of 0 minus is given and it has been asked I of 0 plus, means what? This is the impulsive sort of problem, right? So till now we will not see that, will not touch. When the situation comes, we will see that how to solve it. Okay, so okay, this is what. Now let us see the three different problems for the three different conditions. So first condition is that suppose I have the equation like this, d2x of t upon dt square plus 5 dx t by dt plus your 4x of t, which is 0, and find out the solution of this equation. And it is say that your initial condition is given x of 0 plus is 2 and x dash of 0 plus is minus 1. So how to obtain the solution? So in order to find out, let me write its characteristic equation. So what will be characteristic equation? P square plus 5p plus 4, that is equal to 0. Then find out the roots. What are the roots? P plus 1 and p plus 4, which are equal to 0. And from that solution of this equation, I can write x of t will be one constant k1 e raised to minus t plus second constant k2 e raised to minus 4t. And now find out what is my k1 and what is my k2, and for that initial condition is given. So let me evaluate this. X of 0 plus will be equal to k1 plus k2, and which is now 2. Yeah, now I would like to know the other constant, so k2. So what it will be? You differentiate it. X dash of t will be minus k1 e raised to minus t and minus 4k2 e raised to minus 4t. So with this, what it will be? X dash of 0. So let us evaluate this. X dash of 0 plus will be minus k1 and minus 4k2, which is how much? Minus 1. Okay, so you have now two equation. One is this, second equation is minus k1 minus 4k2, which was minus 1. Okay, so the, let me see, I have already computed. So your value of k1, here I will write, your value of k1 will be 7 by 3 and value of k2 will be minus 1 by 3. Okay, so what it will be now? Solution directly I can write here. X of t will be k1 is 7 by 3 e raised to minus t minus 1 by 3 e raised to minus 14. Finish. So this is the solution of homogeneous equation. This way you can find out if the roots are distinct. Now what if the second condition is that if the roots are multiple or if the roots are repeated? How to solve that? Okay, so to do that, suppose I have characteristic equation like this. Suppose I have k multiple roots. So let me write that p minus p is 0 and k multiple roots. Then next is p minus p1, p minus p2, and others are you say distinct. So how the solution you can write? The solution for this x of t will be k00 e raised to p naught t. Okay. Then next second constant k01 into t e raised to p0 t plus k0 t to t square e raised to p0 t plus like this k0. Now k, so suppose k minus 1 t raised to k minus 1 e raised to p0 t plus other distinct. So this, let's say k2 e raised to p1 t plus k3 e raised to p2 t like this. Okay. Now what next? I would like to know what are my k0, k01, k02 like this. And this constant will be determined the same process as what we have seen for first case, that is with the initial condition. For example, let me take the example. Suppose the equation I have x double dash prime minus 8 x dash of t plus 16 x of t equal to 0. From that, characteristic equation will be p square minus 8p plus 16, which is 0. Okay, and the roots will be minus 4. Okay, so the roots of it will be p minus 4 square. Now observe that multiple roots are 2. So what will be my solution? X of t will be k1 e raised to 4t plus k2 into t e raised to 4t. And next, to obtain x k1 and k2. So for that, what I need? I need the initial conditions. So suppose initial conditions are given to you, that x of 0 plus is 2 and x dash of 0 plus is 4. Right. So if I'll evaluate this at 0 plus, so x of 0 plus is k1 and k2 is 0. So this will be k1 is equal to simply 2. Now in order to get it, x dash of t will be 4k1 e raised to 4t plus k2 first into derivative of second plus second into derivative of first, and let me evaluate at x dash of 0 plus, so it will be 4k1 plus k2, okay, and which is 4. Okay, so from that k2 I'll get it minus 4. So what is my solution? The total solution will be x of t will be 2 e raised to 4t and minus 4t e raised to 4t. This is the solution. This way you can do this. You can find out the solution if the roots are repeated in the circuit. Okay. The next, third category, we can say how to do if the roots are complex conjugate. So when h of p is complex conjugate, how can we do that? Also we have to see it. Okay. So suppose my roots are h of p will be the complex conjugate roots. So suppose p minus p1 and say p minus p2 or p whatever it is. Say p1 p2 will be sigma plus minus j omega, say for example. So what will be the solution? X of t will be your constant c1 e raised to sigma t into e raised to j omega t, okay, sigma plus j omega. And next you can write c2 e raised to sigma t into e raised to minus j omega t, okay, and that is e raised to sigma minus j omega, one root, and this is second root. So if you expand it, it will be c1 e raised to sigma t e cos omega t plus j sin omega t plus c2, and then what next? E raised to sigma t cos omega t minus j sin omega t. Okay, so let me combine this. So this will be c1 plus c2 e raised to sigma t cos omega t, right? This and this I'll combine, and plus j c1 minus c2 e raised to sigma t, and it will be sine omega t. Okay, so suppose this will be your m1 e raised to sigma t cos of omega t plus m2 e raised to sigma t sine omega t, or this also I can write into the form of m e raised to sigma t sine omega t plus some angle 5. Okay, this may be also the form x of t is equal to this, where your m1 can be expressed as m sine phi and m2 can be expressed as m cos phi. Okay, let us take an example. So to do this, let me take the example that is x double dash plus 2 x dash of t plus 5 x of t is equal to 0. So what is the characteristic equation for this? Will be p square plus 2p plus 5, which is 0, and roots will be p plus 1 plus 2j and p plus 1 minus 2j. So here sigma will be minus 1 and omega will be 2. So the solution will be x of t, which is equal to m1 e raised to sigma t. So sigma t is minus 1. So cos 2t plus m2 e raised to minus t sine omega t, which is 2t. Okay, now let me find out what is my m1 and what is my m2. Okay, so to find out I need the initial condition. So suppose initial conditions are given as x of 0 positive say 1 and x dash of 0 positive say it is 0. Okay, so to evaluate it, let us evaluate it x of 0 plus, which will be m1 e raised to minus 0. So this is 1. So this will be m1, which is simply 1. And to get it x dash of t, so this will be m1 first function, let's say cos 2t, second function is derivative e raised to minus t and minus 2 e raised to minus t sine 2t. Okay, first function derivative of second plus second into derivative of cos derivative is minus sine plus 2. Okay, plus m2 first function into the derivative of this plus 2 e raised to minus t cos 2t. Okay, and let us evaluate this at t is equal to 0 plus. So what will be x dash of 0 plus is 0, which will be minus m1 plus 2m2. Okay, m1 we know that is 1, so m2 will be 1 by 2. So if it is, what next? Your x of t you can write as e raised to minus t, because m1 is 1, minus t cos 2t plus 1 by 2 e raised to minus t sine 2t. And again, if you want, you can convert into m sine omega t plus phi also. Okay, this way you can solve for third. Okay, now we stop today. In the next class, we will see the solution of the non-homogeneous ordinary differential equation. Thank you.